The Changpas have a complicated relationship with snowfall. They need good winter snow for the grass to grow well during the summers. But too much snowfall can create trouble for them by burying the grass necessary for the survival of their animals. A winter storm is the worst nightmare for the Changpas. And on the third week of my living with the Changpas, a winter storm is exactly what we got. The previous winter was a dry one with hardly any snowfall, and because of that, there was very little grass in the plains this winter, and even that little grass has been reduced down to their stubs by the grazing animals. A light snowfall of just an inch or two would be enough to bury the grass, making it difficult for the animals to find anything to eat. Many of their animals were weak as a result, and the Changpas had to take extra care of those weak animals by giving them a special ration of grains every evening. The weather was unpredictable in Changtang this winter. It would be bright and sunny one day and then suddenly start snowing the next day. But the snowfall was usually very light, just an inch or two every few days, and the sun would come out strongly after the snowfall and melt all the snow in a day or two. But it was only a matter of time before a heavy storm hit Changtang, and it happened 2 days after the Tangpa Chowa festival. The snowfall started overnight and continued falling heavily in the morning. These were blizzard conditions, but still it did not stop the Changpas from taking their animals out to graze. They wanted their animals to graze as much as they could before all the grass was buried under the snow. Back home, the Changpas covered the ground of their animal pens with tarp. This would keep the ground dry during the snowfall and make it easy for them to clear the snow when the animals returned in the evening. The blizzard got stronger as the day progressed, and we were all worried about the herders who were staying out in this terrible weather. The herders returned early that afternoon. They were back by 2 p.m. as there was nothing for their animals to eat in that snow-covered landscape. And moreover, it would be better and safer to enclose the animals in their pens before the weather got any worse in the evening. The herds returned to the village from all directions, but they all had to wait outside as the Changpas were busy clearing the snow out of the pens. It was important for the pens to be as dry as possible in order for the animals to be comfortable and survive the night. The herds were waiting outside the village in a long queue. Some herders even left their animals unsupervised and went off to help their families clear the snow. Eventually, the pens were cleared and the animals were allowed to enter. Although the blizzard was still blowing, the Changpas took care of their animals just like they did every other day. It is important that the weaker animals had something to eat that day. A bit of food in their bellies would keep them warm at night. And the Changpas even built a covered shelter for the younger and weaker animals to spend the night. The yaks came back early to the village as well. They returned on their own and hung around near the pens, waiting to be taken care of by their masters. The Changpas ended the day, praying for the weather to clear up by the morning. We woke up to a clear morning and a snow-covered landscape. There was about a foot of snow everywhere, and there was no point taking the animals out to graze in all that snow. So the Changpas kept all their animals in their pens for the day and only let the yaks out to graze. A few goats did not survive the night, but thankfully the vast majority of their animals were fine. This snow would take more than a few days to melt, and the Changpas cannot afford to wait and watch their animals die of hunger. So they all got together and decided to move to a different grazing area. I was excited on hearing this news. The Changpa migration was about to happen finally, and it promised to be an amazing spectacle.